Hey everybody, welcome to another deep dive. Today we're looking at images.
Images.
Specifically getting them onto your WordPress site.
That's right.
And not just like any old images.
No.
I'm talking external images.
Personal, yep.
Like ones that are hosted somewhere else that we want to bring into our site.
Mm-hmm.
And we found this super cool article from Now Technology Systems down under...
Oh, the Aussies.
Those Aussie web wizards, yeah. And it's called Guide to Importing External Images into WordPress Effectively.
Okay.
And this is going to be great for anyone who's running a WordPress site.
Of course.
Or who's even just curious about like how to manage a website.
Right.
Especially for you small business owners out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to uncover some really cool stuff.
Okay.
Like why importing these images can actually boost your SEO.
Interesting.
How to avoid any legal pitfalls.
Ooh, that's important.
And we'll even give you some practical tips for keeping your website visuals fresh.
I like it.
So, I think we all kind of know that images are important. Sure, they make our websites look nice.
Yeah, they're pretty.
But you were telling me earlier, there's way more to it than just aesthetics.
Yeah, it's not just about making things look pretty,
Right.
It really impacts how your site performs.
Okay.
And even the user experience, how people feel when they're on your site.
Right.
It all plays a part.
So, like, why even bother importing images when we can just link to them?
Yeah.
It seems easier, right?
It might seem easier in the short term.
Yeah.
But think about it.
Oh.
Let's say you've got these amazing product photos that are hosted on, I don't know, some other platform.
Right.
If you import them directly into your WordPress site, it keeps those visitors on your content.
Right.
They're not clicking away. They're not getting distracted.
Less clicking around.
Exactly. And it really reinforces your brand message.
Okay.
Every image tells a story.
Mm-hmm.
You want that story to be consistent.
And I guess a consistent story keeps people on your site longer.
Exactly.
Which I know Google loves.
Oh, Google loves that.
Didn't you say site speed was a big deal for Google too?
Huge. Absolutely.
Okay.
Locally stored images, they generally load way faster.
Makes sense.
Than ones that are pulled from external sources.
Right.
And, faster loading means happier visitors.
For sure.
Which Google sees and thinks, hey, this site's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's bump it up in those search results.
Awesome.
So it's a win-win.
So we're sold on importing.
Good.
But how do we do it?
That's the question, isn't it?
Yeah, the how-to is where I get lost.
I hear you.
Like Tech Stuff and I, we're not always the best of friends.
Well, the beauty of WordPress is that it's so user-friendly.
Okay, good.
And for importing images, plugins are our superheroes.
Oh, right. Plugins.
Think of them as little helpers that give your WordPress site superpowers.
Like all the cool features.
Exactly.
So which ones are we talking about for images?
There are two popular choices.
Okay.
Auto-upload images.
Okay.
And external images importer.
Okay.
You can find them, like most plugins, right in your WordPress dashboard under plugins.
Right.
Just do a quick search, install, activate, and you're good to go.
No complicated coding or anything like that?
No file uploads. It's super easy.
It's a relief.
I know, right?
But once we've got the plugin, how do we actually import an image?
It's almost ridiculously simple.
Okay.
You literally paste the image URL into your content.
Really?
The plugin does the rest.
Wow.
It pulls the image in, stores it in your WordPress media library.
So no more downloading and uploading each image.
Exactly.
Wow.
Streamlined and efficient.
I love it.
And speaking of efficiency, importing images gives you more control.
Okay, so we've got speed. Google loves it.
Right.
What other benefits are we talking about?
Well, when those images are stored locally, you're in charge. Okay.
Not relying on an external source.
Right.
That's advantage.
Right. Or change their rules or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your website, your images, your peace of mind.
You don't want to build your online empire on shaky foundations.
Really?
And you mentioned something earlier about SEO.
Oh, yeah. This is where it gets really exciting.
Okay, tell me more.
For anyone who wants to climb those search engine rankings.
Yeah, we all do.
Importing images opens up a world of SEO opportunities.
So how do images help us rank higher?
Well, you got to remember, search engines can't see images.
Oh, right.
They rely on text to understand what's going on. So when you import an image, you get to give it a descriptive file name.
Okay, yeah.
And add what's called alt text.
Alt text.
With relevant keywords.
Okay.
It's like you're whispering to Google, hey, this image is all about insert your keyword here.
So we're basically helping Google understand our images.
But how do we make sure we're using keywords the right way?
That's the key, isn't it? Finding that balance between using them naturally and providing valuable information.
Makes sense.
We don't want to just stuff keywords in there.
Right.
Just for the sake of it.
It's got to sound natural.
Absolutely.
So we're importing for speed, we're importing for control, we're importing for SEO.
You got it.
Is there anything else we need to keep in mind?
There are a few things to watch out for.
Okay, let's hear it.
We've talked about all the good stuff, but we also need to be aware of potential pitfalls.
Like what?
One common issue is duplicate images.
Oh, yeah.
Clogging up your media library.
I can imagine that.
It can get messy quickly.
Yeah.
Lots of files, confusing names.
Yeah, how do we avoid that?
Regular digital decluttering.
Yeah.
Just like you tidy up your desk, you need to make time to check your media library.
Clear.
Get rid of duplicates, images you're not using. Think of it as spring cleaning for your website.
Spring cleaning, I like that.
Keeps things running smoothly.
So a tidy media library is a happy media library.
Exactly.
What other pitfalls should we watch out for?
Well, this one's especially important for our Australian listeners.
Okay.
Copyright laws here are serious business, so make sure you have the rights to use any external images that you import.
Okay, that makes sense. So we need to be mindful of copyright. Are there easy ways to do that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Royalty-free images are a fantastic option.
Okay. Royalty-free.
These are images that you can use without having to pay royalties or track down the original owner to get permission.
Sounds like a dream come true.
It can be.
So where do we find these magical images?
There are tons of websites offering royalty-free images, both free and paid.
Okay.
Think Unsplash, Pexels, Pixabay,
Okay.
Even Shutterstock.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Shutterstock.
They're like treasure chests full of beautiful imagery.
Okay, so we've got options for finding images we can use legally.
You do.
But even with royalty-free images,
yeah,
is there anything we should be careful of?
Always double-check the terms and conditions of each website. Some might have specific rules about how you can use their images. Like requiring you to credit the photographer. Or limiting commercial use.
Right. Always read the fine print.
Exactly.
What if we can't find the perfect royalty-free image? Are there other ways to use images legally?
You can get a license.
Okay.
Directly from the copyright holder.
Okay.
Think of it like negotiating a friendly agreement about how you can use their image.
Yeah, like making a deal with the image's owner.
Exactly.
What if we absolutely need to use a specific image? And we can't find a royalty-free option?
Yeah.
Or get in touch with the owner? Is there any way around that?
There is, but it gets a little tricky. It's called fair use. And it's a legal concept that allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission. For things like criticism, commentary, news reporting, teaching, research.
So can I just claim fair use for any image I want?
Whoa, hold your horses. Fair use is complex. It's not a free pass to use any image you please. There are specific factors that determine whether or not your use qualifies as fair use. And it's not always clear-cut.
So it's a bit of a gray area.
It can be.
So it's best to be cautious.
Yes.
And maybe talk to a legal expert if we're not sure.
Absolutely. Always a good idea.
This is all incredibly insightful.
Glad to hear it.
I feel much more confident about this whole image thing now.
That's great.
Any last words of wisdom for our small business owners?
Just remember, assume everything is copyrighted. Unless it explicitly says otherwise.
Got it.
Explore those royalty-free havens.
Consider licensing agreements. Be super careful with fair use claims. And when in doubt, call in a legal eagle.
Good advice.
You want to protect yourself, your business, and the creators of the images that you use.
Awesome. We've covered so much ground already.
We have.
From importing basics to SEO strategies and even legal considerations, it's been an incredible journey.
It has.
But hold on tight, because in part 2, we'll dive even deeper into the world of image optimization.
Can't wait. Hashtag TTS The Deep Dive, episode 2025-0225, part 2 of 3. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're diving back into the world of images.
Back for more.
Yeah. Specifically, how to make those images we've imported really shine.
Yes.
Not just visually, but also for those search engines. So they can find our beautiful content.
Gotta love those search engines.
I gotta keep them happy, right?
Absolutely.
So you were telling me earlier about image optimization.
Yeah, image optimization is fascinating.
Okay, why is that?
Well, it's like a balancing act.
Okay.
You want those eye-catching visuals, the ones that captivate your audience.
Yeah.
But you also need to make sure that they load quickly.
Right.
And don't slow your website down.
Yeah, nobody wants a slow website.
It's a delicate dance.
Like finding that sweet spot, right?
Precisely.
So where do we begin?
Let's start with image compression.
Okay, image compression.
It's like magic.
Okay.
You reduce the image's file size without sacrificing too much quality.
That sounds good.
Think of it like squeezing out all the unnecessary data, making those images lean and mean.
I like the sound of that.
Ready to race.
Lean and mean images, yeah.
Exactly.
But how do we actually compress them?
The practicality.
Yeah, is this where I need my coding skills?
No coding required.
Okay, good.
There are tons of user-friendly tools, both online and offline, that can handle the heavy lifting for you.
So they do all the work?
They do the hard work, yeah.
What kind of tools are we talking about?
For online options, TinyPNG is popular.
Okay.
Compressor.io, Image Optim.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, those are some of the big names.
So I can just upload my image to one of those websites.
And it'll just shrink it down.
That's it?
Pretty much.
Wow.
They use these clever algorithms to analyze the image, remove any redundant data.
It's like a cleanup crew.
It is. It's like a digital Marie Kondo coming in and saying, this pixel does not spark joy.
I love that analogy.
It's perfect, isn't it?
So are there different types of compression?
There are a couple of main types.
Okay.
You've got lossy compression.
Okay.
And lossless compression.
Lossy and lossless. What's the difference?
So lossy compression removes some data from the image, which makes the file smaller.
Right.
But it might slightly reduce the quality.
Right. Okay, so it's a trade-off.
It is, yeah.
Smaller file, but maybe a little less quality.
Exactly.
Okay.
Lossless compression keeps all the original data.
Okay.
So the quality stays top-notch.
Right.
But the file size might be a bit bigger.
So how do I know which one to choose?
Depends on the image and how you're using it.
Okay.
For example, for a blog banner with a gradient background, lossy compression would work great.
Okay.
You wouldn't even notice the difference.
Okay.
But for a product photo, where every detail matters.
Right. You want to see all of the...
You'd want lossless
to
maintain that crisp, clear image.
Makes sense.
It's all about choosing the right tool.
Right, for the job.
Exactly.
So what if I don't want to use online tools?
Good question.
Are there options for compressing images on my computer?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Many image editing programs, like Photoshop or GIMP, they have built-in compression features.
Oh, okay. You can also find dedicated compression apps. Okay. Like Image Optim for Mac and RioD for Windows.
All right, cool.
So there are plenty of options out there.
So we've got compression covered.
We've tackled compression.
What's next?
Choosing the right file format.
Oh, okay.
It's like selecting the perfect outfit for your image.
An outfit for your image.
I know, right?
Okay.
Different formats have different strengths.
Right.
We want to make sure our image is dressed for success.
Dressed for success. I like it.
You've probably heard of JPEGs, PNGs, and GIFs, right?
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I've never really understood the difference.
Okay, let's break it down.
Yeah, please.
JPEGs are your go-to for photographs.
Okay.
And images with lots of colors.
Right.
They strike a good balance between file size and quality.
Okay, so good all-arounder.
Exactly.
What about PNGs?
PNGs are all about crisp lines,
okay,
text, and transparency.
Right.
They support lossless compression.
Right, we talked about that. So they're perfect for images where details matter.
Right.
And then there are GIFs.
Yes, yeah.
They're the animation superstars.
Right.
But they're best for simpler images with limited colors.
So it's all about choosing the right format.
Precisely.
That best showcases the image and its purpose.
Exactly.
JPEG for photos, PNG for details, GIF for animations.
Yeah, we're getting this.
You're a pro already.
So what else can we do to optimize our images?
Image dimensions.
Okay.
They often get overlooked.
Image dimensions.
Okay, but they can make a big difference in loading times.
Right.
Resizing images before you upload them to WordPress is crucial.
So we're talking about making sure they're not too big.
Exactly.
Okay.
If you upload a huge image
and
display it small on your site,
right,
you're wasting bandwidth.
Okay.
and slowing down the loading process.
Exactly.
It's like trying to fit an elephant through a mouse hole.
Okay. Yeah.
Very efficient. So how do I know what size to make my images?
It depends on your website's design.
Okay.
And the image's purpose.
Okay.
But a good rule of thumb is to resize images to roughly the same width as the content area where they'll be displayed.
So if my blog post is 800 pixels wide, I should make my images around that size.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a good starting point.
Are there any tools that can help with resizing?
Most image editing software can do it.
Okay.
And you can also find free online tools that make resizing a breeze.
So we've compressed our images, chosen the file formats.
We're on a roll.
Make sure they're the right size.
Yep.
Anything else?
Remember those SEO best practices we talked about earlier?
Yeah, the SEO stuff?
They're back.
Okay.
And they're ready to make your images work even harder.
So renaming images with descriptive file names.
Yes.
And adding alt text with relevant keywords.
You got it.
Okay, I remember.
Search engines can't see images, so we need to give them those textual clues.
It's like we're speaking their language.
Exactly.
So descriptive file names, alt text, all that good stuff.
Not only boosts your search engine rankings, but also makes your website more accessible.
Oh, right.
To people who use screen readers.
That's important.
It's a win-win.
So we're helping Google and making our website more inclusive.
Absolutely.
I like that.
It's the best of both worlds.
Any other SEO tricks up your sleeve?
Have you ever heard of image sitemaps?
Image sitemaps?
Yeah.
That sounds a little technical.
They are a bit technical, but they're super helpful.
Okay. Tell me more.
An image sitemap is like a roadmap for search engines. It shows them all the images on your website.
So it's like a guide for Google to find all our images.
It helps them crawl and index your images more effectively.
So how do I create one of these sitemaps?
You don't have to do it manually.
Oh.
There are WordPress plugins.
Plugins again?
Plugins to the rescue.
It seems like there's a plugin for everything.
There probably is.
I'm starting to feel like an image optimization pro.
That's the goal.
So we've compressed, we've chosen file formats, we've resized, we've done SEO.
You're on fire.
Anything else we need to consider?
We've talked about optimizing file sizes and formats, but what about the actual image itself?
Right, the quality of the image.
Exactly.
Choosing good images.
High-quality, relevant images.
Yeah, that are actually good.
That resonate with your audience.
Okay, that's crucial. But we'll talk about that in part 3.
We will.
Along with some tips for small business owners.
Absolutely.
Who want to use images strategically.
It's going to be.
I can't wait. Hashtag TTS The Deep Dive, episode 2025, Z225. Part 3 of 3. All right, welcome back. We're wrapping up our deep dive into images.
The final chapter.
And this time, we're tackling the legal stuff.
The fun part.
Yeah, copyright.
It can be a bit daunting.
I know a lot of website owners get nervous about it.
Understandably.
Especially our small business owners out there.
Absolutely.
So let's demystify it.
Okay.
Break it down.
Let's do it.
What are the essentials we need to know about copyright when we're using these external images?
Well, first things first.
Yeah.
Copyright protects original creations,
okay,
including photos, illustrations, even digital graphics.
So anything we create?
Pretty much. The creator automatically owns the copyright.
Okay.
Whether they've registered it officially or not.
So even if I find an image online, and there's no copyright notice, it doesn't mean I can just use it.
No copyright notice doesn't mean no copyright.
Okay, good to know.
Always assume an image is protected.
Right.
Unless it explicitly states otherwise.
Better safe than sorry.
Exactly.
So how do we make sure we're using images legally?
One way is to use royalty-free images.
Oh, right. Royalty-free. We talked about those.
Are a great option.
So remind me.
These are images that have been licensed for use without paying royalties or needing direct permission from the copyright holder.
So it's like a free pass.
Well, not always free, but definitely hassle-free.
I like it.
Where do we find these gems?
Where are they hiding?
There are tons of websites offering royalty-free images, both free and paid.
Okay.
You've got Unsplash, Pexels, Pixabay.
Right.
Those are some good free options.
And for paid.
Shutterstock's a popular choice.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Shutterstock.
It's like a digital library of images.
Awesome.
You can use them without worrying about copyright.
Well, almost.
Almost, yes.
What do you mean?
Always take a moment
to
read the terms and conditions.
Oh, right. The fine print.
Each website might have specific requirements.
Like what?
Some might ask you to credit the photographer.
Okay.
Or they might restrict commercial use.
Right. Got it.
So always double check.
Always double check. Okay.
What if you can't find the perfect royalty-free image?
Yeah, what then?
You can obtain the license directly from the copyright holder.
Right, so we contact the owner and work something out.
It usually involves a fee for the right to use the image.
So we're making a deal.
It's like a friendly agreement.
What if we can't find a royalty-free option? We can't get in touch with the owner.
Yeah.
But we really need to use this image.
Tricky situation.
Is there anything we can do?
In some cases, you might be able to rely on fair use.
Fair use.
It's a legal doctrine that allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission.
Limited use, no permission, sounds good. There's always a but.
Fair use is a lot more complicated than it sounds. It's not a free pass.
So I can't just claim fair use for anything.
Definitely not.
All right.
It depends on a lot of factors.
Like what?
Why you're using the image. What the image is. How much of it you're using. And how your use might affect the market for the original.
So it's not always clear-cut.
It can be quite nuanced.
So best to be cautious.
Absolutely.
And maybe talk to a lawyer if we're not sure.
Always a good idea.
This has been so helpful.
Glad to hear it.
I feel way more informed about using images legally.
That's the goal.
Any parting words of wisdom for our small business owners?
Here are a few golden rules.
I'm listening.
Always assume an image is copyrighted. Unless stated otherwise. Explore those royalty-free options. Consider licensing agreements. Be very careful with fair use claims.
Got it.
And when in doubt, talk to a legal professional.
Sound advice.
You want to protect yourself,
your
business, and the creators of the images you use.
It's been an incredible journey.
It has.
We've gone from importing basics to SEO strategies, optimization techniques, and even the legal stuff.
We covered it all.
I feel like I've leveled up my website skills.
And remember, the learning never stops.
So true.
The online world is constantly changing. Stay curious, keep exploring. Never stop learning.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
For this deep dive into importing external images.
My favorite topic.
We hope you found it insightful.
And empowering.
And maybe even a little bit fun.
A little bit of fun, always.
Now go forth.
Yes.
And create those stunning websites.
Legally sound.
And SEO friendly.
The world is your oyster.
Thanks for listening, everyone.